How big of a return can you actually make if you just buy the MSRP products off the Pokemon Center website for each new set? That's what I'm going to look at here in this video today. And this video is aimed at new investors who've discovered Pokemon investing, like the topic and the hobby, and they're quite interested to get into it, but they just find it quite overwhelming of where to start. And we all know that you can't get readily available MSRP products anymore like you could a couple of years ago. You can't just go and buy a load of booster boxes or ETBs for MSRP or under. It's normally having to invest on the open market, which is what all these kind of videos you see here are all about. Buy this booster box or buy this ETB that's already ran up quite a bit in price, and it carries an element of risk in that sense, doesn't it? Because it isn't MSRP, it's already ran up a bit, and you think, well, it could go down, I'm not sure, I'm a bit nervous. Whereas we all know that if you buy at MSRP, you're going to do well, right? So where is the one place that you can buy consistently a decent amount of product at MSRP regularly? It's the Pokemon Center. And as we all know, you can't just hop onto the Pokemon Center website anymore and just pick up any of these items. They're all sold out all the time. But you can, for every set, get into the drops. Now, the odd person here might say, oh, I struggle to get in the Pokemon Center drops, I always get errors. For me, myself, in the last 2 years, I've had no problem getting in. As long as I'm on my laptop and I get in the queue early enough, I get in. And so do a lot of other people. And the more modern sets, going into like the Mega era, the queues have been a lot longer, a lot better, and everyone's pretty much getting their product. So it is a reliable way to get hold of decent product at MSRP. So if you see my last video, which will be linked at the end of this video, I went through and figured out from 2023 to 2026, the average percentage gains for PC ETBs, regular ETBs, booster bundles and booster boxes for every set. Now what I'm doing here today is I've used that data and I'm going to translate it across to, hypothetically, if you keep picking up those items from the Pokemon Center website going forward over the next 3 years, how much money can you make from just buying those items? So this is the spreadsheet I used in the last video, where, as you can see at the bottom, we've got PC ETBs, bundles, booster boxes and regular ETBs, and there's the average percentage gains. PC ETBs nearly 400%, bundles 178, booster boxes 74, regular ETBs, which are not going to be included in this because you can't buy a regular ETB from the Pokemon Center website, at 300%. Okay, so if you just want to steadily put in some money at MSRP into the items that you can get from the Pokemon Center website, this is what it's going to look like. So this is what it's going to look like, and this is how I've mapped it out. So we've got 2027, 2028, 2029, and we've got 2 special sets in each year, or the holiday sets as we call them from the Japanese sets, and 4 mainline sets, because that's what we've had in 2026. Okay, 4 mainlines, 2 specialty sets. We've then got and what I'm doing is I'm just going to have to like pick a baseline for what items you can get for each set. So I'm saying that you can get 2 PC ETBs for each of the sets. You can get 2 booster bundles for each of the sets. And yes, I know sometimes they let you get more booster bundles and blah, blah, blah. But we're saying 2. And then for the mainline sets, you can get 1 booster box. This is like a minimum baseline, because obviously sometimes they do double drops of the PC ETBs, booster bundles and the booster boxes. And you can also get the tins, collection boxes, UPCs, SPCs, all those kind of things off the Pokemon Center website. But it was too messy to include everything. So I'm just going with the 3 baseline items. So if you wanted to pick them all up and you could get in the queue on the Pokemon Center website every single time for the next 3 years, you will have spent £4,811 to get 2 PC ETBs, 2 bundles and a booster box for each release. Okay, 4,800, it's £1,600 a year. Now this is the interesting bit. If you just hold them for 3 years, based off the average percentage gains from the previous 3 years, the amount of money you would make is absolutely astronomical, to be honest. And it's mind-blowing. And when I say amount of money you will make, hypothetically could make, by the way, okay? So it's not a guarantee. The potential returns are an average of 230%. Your £4,811 could potentially be worth nearly £18,000. Now, when you look at it like that, it's kind of like, it's absolutely mind-blowing, because if you put £4,800 into a stock market, ETF, you know, a mutual fund, all those kind of things, a savings account with a decent percentage return on it, you are not going to get anywhere near in 3 years 230% return and turn nearly 5 grand into nearly 18 grand. Just not going to happen. But in Pokemon, if you'd have done that for the previous 3 years, that's exactly what you would have ended up with. And like I said before, this doesn't include all the extra items, the SPCs, UPCs, tins, because recently for 30th, I think we had the mini tin bundles, 10 tins. We're going to get the UPCs. They're going to go on the Pokemon Center website anytime now, hopefully. Collection boxes, that kind of stuff. This is mental, really, when you look at it. It's absolutely mental. Now, people might say, going forward, we're going to get the new printing facility by 2028. They're going to be pumping more stuff out. Yes, potentially. But even then, even if they do quell it a bit and things quieten off, it's still going to be, and it drops down from 230%, even if it dropped down massively, it would and say it's still at 100%. In 3 years, you're turning your 5 grand into nearly 10 grand just from picking up the MSRP items off the Pokemon Center website without having to delve into the deep, like monstrous Pokemon investing world and trying to buy things at current market price and taking a risk, not knowing if it's going to go back up, back down. Buying at MSRP, these top items here, there is no risk. There's no risk to it, really, in my eyes, whatsoever. Whereas if you do buy, I don't know, let's just say a prismatic PC ETB at like £300, yes, they're probably going to go up more in the future, but there is a chance it could come down. There is a chance. Long term, they're going to go up. We all know it tends to go up. But if you're just buying these MSRP items, and I think Pokemon investing should be like a side hobby, not like your main financial security position. It's a bit of fun. And putting £1,600 a year in, for example, if you can afford that as a bit of fun, is kind of a reasonable amount, especially if the potential gains look like this, nearly 18,000 just from picking these up. And there might be some drops that you miss because you're on holiday, you're in work, or you got kicked out the queue, but there'll be other drops where you get double the amount, like Ascended Heroes did 2 PC ETB drops, and I ended up with 4 of them. Pitch Black recently did a second drop where they did another booster box and 2 booster bundles as well, that kind of thing. So it'll average out over the course of the year. But for me, if you are new into Pokemon investing, you want to get involved, but you don't want to do too much risk on current items that are at market price or old items, this is a really sensible, safe bet for just constantly putting some money in over, each set, 6 sets a year, over the next 3 years. You're going to see a really tidy growth. And to be honest, I've been putting money in now for the last 2 years, and most of it has just been MSRP picks off the Pokemon Center website, a few things from stores like Obsidious, TCG, before like it all went mental at MSRP. And my returns aren't too far off this, and that's in 2 years. So I can see why this being fairly accurate. And in 3 years' time, my percentage returns will probably look just like this, and the values will probably be quite similar as well. So because I can see it in my own portfolio, which I don't want to show at the moment, I don't think I'm in a position where I want to get my whole portfolio up on Pulse TCG just yet, because we had that spate of burglaries and blah blah blah. But maybe one day we'll go down that route. But it's looking similar or in line with this. And don't get me wrong, I have bought some items at market price and they've gone up, like 151 bundles, which I bought last Christmas. But this is a really safe way to do it. If you're looking at getting into Pokemon investing, take a snapshot of this sheet and really think about it, because it's just a steady Eddie way of making ridiculous gains. Look at that. Look at this number here. It's mad. It is really mad. So this video was just like a bit of a short one. I hope it's short. I've not timed it. Short one just to show you what you can do if you're new into Pokemon investing, don't want to take risks, and just buy at MSRP. And obviously you can add to it. If you get selected in some store lotteries, like I do the Chaos Cards ones, and sometimes get selected, you can add to it that way, and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, this was just a little bit of a eye-opener and hopefully some really useful information for people who are getting into Pokemon investing. And you can see where these potential returns can go if you just buy at MSRP from these regular Pokemon Center drops. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you want to watch my previous video, which links into this one, that will be tagged in below. Hopefully it's below you right now. And if you enjoy the Pokemon investing market content, I'm Cal. This is Calspokemart. Please like and subscribe for more of this content, UK based, and I'm posting a few times a week talking about the Pokemon markets and investing, all that kind of good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.